I was in the process of uploading a couple of videos, one on the Tree of Life and Kabbalah, and the other one, for some bizarre reason, it just hasn't quite, it's processed like 99% of the video, but it won't be going up on the site, on the YouTube channel yet, and it's weird. And it's a short video too. I think relatively short, only like 2 hours. No, I mean it's a short video. And ironically, it's the video. It's called "The True Pronunciation of Yud He Vav," YHVH, which is God's name in the Jewish Bible and in Judaism. And ironically, there's a belief about keeping it careful, keeping that name careful, and very Orthodox, very devout Jews won't write it out, and they're very careful about writing the name and so forth. That's why sometimes you'd see G-D, or people will, the other name, Elohim, people will say Elohim instead of Elohim. Obviously, you're hearing me, and I'm saying freely Yehovah, Yud He Vav He, and so I don't adhere to that. I believe actually the opposite. I believe a person's name means something. Well, not that they don't mean something, that they don't think that the name means something. It's just they're very careful about it, whereas I want to refer to God, the Jewish concept. As a Jew, I want to refer to God by that distinct name because it's very special and it carries qualities about God. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. It's just funny that video where people are, it's about a topic where people don't even write, some people don't even write it fully out. It's ironic that that's the one that's not fully uploading. It's having processing problems. Anyway, I wanted to talk, like sort of as an addendum or as a preview about the Tree of Life video that I'm in the process of uploading. I wanted to make a short video about why it's important to me. I think I've talked about this before, but Judaism in general is on the fence. It's very philosophical. Rather than Christianity being very literal in its explanation, you must believe this is historically true and Jesus actually existed and he lived this life and preaching the gospel and the word and so forth. Judaism has nothing to do with that. Judaism is much more about allegory and concepts and philosophy and metaphysics in some sense. So, I mean, metaphysics in some sense. I say some sense because I'm not entirely sure what metaphysics is, but that's why I appreciate Kabbalah very much, and I believe that I already had a Kabbalistic mind before I began studying it, just instinctively, and I think that speaks to the intrinsic, very natural aspect of Kabbalah. Where do I want to take the study of Kabbalah? Well, I'm intrigued by the similarities with Greek philosophy, particularly Plato, and there's other research. My current suspicion is that the writer or writers of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, first of all, I suspect that it was written in only about 2,500 years ago, not 1,400 years ago. It was written 2,500 years ago, referring back to earlier events. That's what I suspect. And because, for one, I haven't found any evidence of its existence before that time, and there's some similarities with Greek philosophy, particularly Plato, and I wonder if Kabbalah came from Plato about maybe 12 years ago, give or take, something like that. I wondered about doing more exploration, if I had time, into the into where Kabbalah came from, its earliest origins. Does it precede the Torah? And if so, were the writers of the Torah thinking of Kabbalistic concepts, or that early phase of Kabbalah when they were writing the Torah? And I'm not alone. I must stress that I'm not alone in thinking, being a Jew, thinking about writers writing that God did not dictate the Torah to Moses. It's more philosophical. It was dictated in 5 different stages, and literal history, I think of it more in terms of what are these 5 stages in the Torah, these 5 moments, 5 stages when the Torah was given to Moses, as described in the Torah. What does that 5 represent symbolically? I'm very much into perceiving things in Judaism in terms of allegory and in terms of philosophy and in terms of, like, for example, the id, the super id, and ego, the id, the ego, and the superego, and Plato's concept of hidden perfect forms in some alternate universe or plane of existence that might have something to do with Kabbalah, and just the origins of Kabbalah itself, and the work of the chariot, and Ezekiel's wheel, which has certainly has metaphysical allegory, but it's stated literally in the text, but as Judaism itself explains, there are 4 different levels of interpretation. There's it's called Pardes, the pay, the literal level, and that's an acronym, PRDS. The pay referring to the lips, it's the literal peshat, the literal level, and many Christians are unfortunately only at that literal level. And then there's remez, which means hint. I'm not sure. My concept is that a passage here may hint at something over here. Not sure about how that. I'm not sure on how to identify remez in terms of interpretation. And then darash refers to allegory. Something here is allegorical to something over here. You see that a lot in Kabbalah or in explanations, Jewish explanations in general, in Jewish texts, where they give an example. It's easier and it's, I think, more full of an explanation if you try to explain a concept through allegory. Like sometimes, I don't know, I'm just coming off the top of my head, a king within his kingdom. You can't have a king without a kingdom, nor a kingdom without a king. There's a concept there, and that's allegory. You can grasp the notion, the concept faster rather than just a definition. And then there's Sod, which is the secret level, and a lot of Kabbalah goes into that Sod level. In fact, another video I want to make is based on this. It's fascinating. It has diagrams and so forth, and that's one reason why I put up those videos on reading Hebrew, so that you can refer back to those, because this is something I intellectually want to delve into. Concepts of this person's theory, which could explain some Kabbalistic verses, some Kabbalistic texts. This is a primary example. The author is now dead, so he may know all the secrets. But I want to delve into that. I want to do like a documentary or full-length explanation of that. I just wanted to make this video explaining that I don't think of Kabbalah as literally true. However, it's philosophically true in the sense that these are truisms. Through the human condition, daily life, when you interact with other people, you notice these concepts coming up. You can feel them as you interact with people. Those are the concepts that pop up in Kabbalah. I know. In fact, I'll give you an example. I think it was 11th grade, maybe 12th grade. Um, I was in mythology classes, a fun class, and we were each assigned to write a creation story, just make one up. And so here, I created one without having any knowledge of Kabbalah. I created something about at the beginning of the universe, there was a sphere, like I thought of a marble. A sphere had all knowledge within it. Basically, literally was knowledge, and there was something outside of this sphere which was jealous and envious of this sphere of knowledge, and it threatened the sphere, and so to protect this knowledge, it split itself, it fragmented into zillions and zillions of different fragments so that this creature could not and I might have even called it chaos. This chaotic creature could not capture all of the zillions of different things. And then as a further, and then so it spread them and in a spiraling pattern, and that's the Milky Way pattern that you see in the sky. And so as a further point, it created a further defense. It created humans to defend these little fragments, protect these little fragments against this jealous creature. And the creature had no purpose of its own, no goals of its own, other than this jealousy of this knowledge. And so once it captures a human, it can be able to imprison the human in a cage of depression, and the human must be able to break free from the cage. So I created that without any knowledge of Kabbalah. It's not literally true, but I hope you can see philosophically it fits. I mean, you have jealousy, you have without purpose, you have something precious trying to protect itself, and you have these different concepts which in some sense are true, sort of, I guess, metaphysically true. So I began learning about Kabbalah, and I noticed the Ein Sof starts off, the whole universe starts off as the Ein Sof, and then it expands and expands, and it seems similar. It seems somewhat similar. I can see some similarities with the creation story I came up with. So I think my mindset was already bent towards Kabbalah. Maybe there's something intrinsic in the human mind. So anyway, that's a fun video. I will wait until I see you next time. All right, hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.